Good evening, sim racing fans, and welcome to Las Vegas Motor Speedway for this round of the CORA Sunday Money Series live from Sin City, Las Vegas Motor Speedway as we get set to rock and roll. Starting grid rolling on your screen. I'm Jacob Seelman alongside Petey Zeller as we get set to bring you all the action from the city of Lady Luck here this evening. Cars already on the grid, and we are just about set to roll. Petey, 100 laps, 150 miles here tonight from Sin City, and definitely we got a long way to go, and for some guys, you have to come from the back a short time to get there.
Should be a lot of fun to watch. Las Vegas always produces good side-by-side action, especially with these nationwide cars at this 1.5 miler. It should be a lot of exciting action to say the least, and I wouldn't expect nothing less, of course. I mean, these CORA Sunday Money guys know how to get it done, and this is going to be one heck of a race here, Jacob. Can't wait.
Taken through quickly this starting grid as cars roll off. Alan Provenzano on the pole, Dan Bailey to his outside on the front row. Damon Gilbert, George Bark in row 2. Michael Jerdsma in row 3, starting 5th alongside William Hale, Dustin Lee, and Sal Accardi 7 and 8, rounding out the top 10. Petey and the first half of tonight's field, Ryan Borges and David Wank. So there's your top 10. Mark McFadden bringing up the caboose of this 20-car field deep in the pack tonight. So several names, Dylan Ackert, Colton Burke among them, who are going to have to come from the rear. It's Sunday night. We are glad you're with us here on LSRTV as we get set to rock, roll, and roll the dice here in Sin City. Cars working through turns 3 and 4. We're ready to kick it off.
Yeah, Jacob, should be a lot of fun. I mean, we're in for what should be a spectacular race here from the CORA Sunday Money Series. And here they come to the green flag. Jacob, the pace car is down and away, and the field is now in the hands of the number 6 of Alan Provenzano. This is his first start in a while. Green flag in the air, down and away. Great restart for him. Dan S. Bailey didn't quite go, Jacob, so just like we expected, a good restart from the pole sitter.
Inside lane goes on this initial American Ethanol start of the race. Provenzano down into turns 1 and 2 and on the gas, trying to run away from this field. Has a car length in hand over Dan Bailey, who rides in that Hooters machine in the number 2 position. Down the back straightaway they go for the first time, fanning out back 2 and 3 wide action. Back around 15th, 16th place, the 99 of Charles Starks among some of those cars, trying to scrap for positions early, but the 6 of Provenzano going to lead lap number 1 here in Vegas.
Provenzano is an excellent driver. Like I said, he hasn't came out much this season, but when he has been fast. Looking back to the field, everyone single foul out. First battle starting to form is really a cluster back here. Dominic Dyball gets loose off the corner. That 15 goes up high. The double out of James Brown, the CEO of CORA, going to his inside. He's going to try to get that position on him. So we'll see if he can. James Brown, though, doing an excellent job as of right now. I mean, looking for him to keep coming through this field, although everyone is single fouled out right now. I really didn't expect this in Vegas. It's a very single foul track. I mean, it can have good racing, but a lot of times, more often than not, you will see this happen. Right behind them, next battle on the racetrack, Jacob, is between the 79 of Joel Wood and the 29 of Dylan Ackert.
Yeah, and I'm watching that battle right here off the exit of turn number 2 as settle it out back to single file, and I think now for the first time all night, the entire field single file for an instant before Joel Wood ducks to the high side. One car down low as that's a little bit of a hornet's nest. And now the 50 of Dustin Lee going to the inside, headed for turn number 1, trying to pick up the 5th spot.
So Dustin Lee trying to get that 5th spot here, and Dustin Lee is an excellent driver. He's really came on as of late, and he's on the inside of Michael Churchma. Churchma going to hold on the outside, so give that one to Churchma. He's so good at these 1.5 milers. I expect to see him come back any moment now. As these tires start to get warmed up a little bit, side-by-side should ensue. A little bit of a hornet's nest back here. 79 of Joel Wood on the outside of that 99 of Charles Starks. Right behind them is the 62 of William Hale and the 81 of Colton Berkey. That's a big 4-car pack right there, all side-by-side. Great racing all the way around there. So right now, really everyone, as their tires get warmer, we're starting to see the side-by-side really heat up.
Yeah, we got this 4-car pack right here led by the 29 Dylan Ackert among that 4-car freight train. 62 William Hale, I think, got a piece of the wall just a minute ago. Petey back there around 16th place. We see them go high, but they get too high, and they'll scrub that safer barrier in a heartbeat.
That can happen so easily here from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. This is a great oval here, a very wide course to really race around. Looking at this isn't like your standard 1.5 miler, you know. If I had to compare this track compared to Kansas, but the racing is completely different. They'd race on the high side there, so right now, no battles though on the racetrack going on yet up front. Although Dustin Lee has caught Churchma again. Churchma, a two-time winner this season, he's really rejuvenated his CORA career. He went winless the season before this, and now, just out of nowhere, really, he's come back and won 2 races this season. So Michael Churchma has a Dustin Lee problem on the outside. Lee, with a strong power statement move on the outside, is going to take that position away from Churchma. That's the change for P5.
And behind them, they were trying to go at it about P7 as well. Salicardi, Nathan Sedlak. The 39 and 35 machines were trying to go at it. And while all that's going on out in front of this field, now 7 laps in the books. Working lap number 8, Alan Provenzano still out in front by 2 car lengths over Damon Gilbert. Those top 2 positions not changed at all since the drop of the green flag.
Provenzano, Damon Gilbert. Gilbert, I know he's really fast. I expected him to get up there. Provenzano, though, is kind of a surprise driver right now, so keep our eye on Provenzano, see what he can do, and looking back.
Oh, a little bit of contact in turn number 4. The 35 of Nathan Sedlak got into the 39 of Accardi right there, and it was almost everybody up into the fence. They were 3 wide for just a moment, and Petey, that almost turned disastrous for a couple guys right there in the middle of the top 10.
Yeah, that's the defending champion and points leader as of right now, Nathan Sedlak. Great job from him for saving that. That's 2 winners this season. Sedlak and the number 39 of Salicardi. So everyone's going to keep their machines facing forward. And looking back here, though, one thing I am noticing is William Hale, after his incident in the 62, is starting to pass cars. He's passing Ryan Borges in the 30. Oh, Borges in the 32 up into the 16 hard. They wreck in the back here. That was Weston Campbell he got into. Caution out on the speedway. The 2 guys racing for dead last went around, Jacob.
Okay. That's I never thought I would hear that. Just one of those moments where you sit back and go, hey, you can have action going anywhere, even for dead last, Petey. That's exactly what happened. A little bit of contact, caution flag flies, and as you see the replay right here, it was just a whole coming together and running out of real estate.
That was a weird one. Borges' car just aggressively turned right into the 16. Now, Borges is usually a driver who races for the wins. He's never towards the back like he was there. I don't know what his issue was there. So,
you know, I got a second look at that, Petey, and I'm almost wondering if there wasn't a little bit of warp involved in that. It looked like he popped out for just a moment, and right when he came back, the car went to the right.
I was looking at that. I was thinking that could too, Jacob. That was just really bizarre. Oh, and William Hale was disqualified. I don't know what that's about. I guess we'll try to listen and see what race control says, but the 62 of William Hale, the league's youngest driver, has been disqualified. Not quite sure what he did.
Alrighty, so under caution, working the first yellow flag of the evening here in Sin City with about to be 11 laps in the books. Alan Provenzano's led them all so far. Damon Gilbert second, George Barton third, Dan Bailey fourth, and Dustin Lee right now rounding out the top 5. And the leaders are in, Petey. You want tires every time you can get them here at Las Vegas.
Yeah, you do. I expect full 4-tire stop for Alan Provenzano, although don't be surprised if someone takes 2 tires and tries to shake it up a little bit. So Provenzano down into his stall. Good stop for him. He got right stopped in there. Now they're going to jack up the right side of that car. And already strategy, one car I think missed his pit stall. I'll get an update on that. But Provenzano is taking a full 4-tire stop, as appears all the leaders are. So Provenzano, they dropped the jack. He's the first car down and away. Salicardi was the one car who didn't quite, I think, missed his pit stall there. And look at who stayed out. Brandon Cruz, Monsivice. This isn't a surprise at all. Brandon Cruz is a driver who almost every week stays out and tries to work some strategy. And sometimes it works for him, sometimes it doesn't. We'll see what happens here.
So under caution, 12 laps complete. We can use this as an opportunity to slide in a few thank yous to the sponsors and people that make it happen here on LSRTV. So we'll slide in a quick break, come back with more action from the CORA Sunday Money Series. It's Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We're rolling the dice in Sin City with more in a moment. Welcome back to LSRTV, the CORA Sunday Money Series from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. The Sin City 150 set to roll once again, and a new man up front. Alan Provenzano leads the guys off pit road, but he'll restart second. The 54 machine of Brandon Monsivice back on point. He takes the lead. Green flag in the air at lap number 14. Big stack up there. Accordion it out. PD 54 to the inside, and that's 6 of Provenzano, not where he wants to be. You don't like being on the... Oh, caution.
There was a
crash
wreck
in the back.
When they all stacked up, they wrecked. The 29 of Dylan Ackert went around, and that's going to bring out the caution flag. Looking at what happened there, Jacob, on the restart, they just all stacked up, and the 15 of Dominic Dieball hit the 29 in his left rear or right rear quarter panel, got him loose sideways. 29 overcorrected, and everyone did a good job missing him except the 16, and that is what brought out the second caution flag here tonight from Vegas.
Yeah, you'll get a chance to look at the replay again right now, and that all started right on the green flag, PD, when everything kind of accordioned. It started on the front row and just kept backing up until the guys at the back piled in and had nowhere to go.
Yeah, so that was a issue, I guess, that not normal to see in here in the CORA Sunday Money Series, but it went down, so that will bring out caution number 2 on the night. Dylan Ackert with motor issues, and Brandon Monsivice smiling. He took a gamble here at Vegas, and so far it's paying off. This caution's going to help him big time.
Yeah, it will, and I'm going to be interested to see how this pays off right here, because that 54 machine stayed out to get track position, didn't come in as far as I know on the pit stop, and now we'll see him duck down onto the pit lane and hand the lead back over to 6 of Alan Provenzano. But it was a gamble that paid off and at least got him a bonus point for leading some laps, PD. So I'd say no harm, no foul for that 54, and he can slide in, get tires, and come right back out and try to go to work again.
Yeah, it's funny that we're in the gambling city this week, because Brandon Monsivice is always a guy who tries to take gambling moves here in the CORA Sunday Money Series. So who knows? We're at Sin City with gambling. I mean, I think if he's going to gamble, this could be his week from Brandon Monsivice.
And while we're under caution, want to take a chance to dig back into the vault for LSRTV. Take a look at some highlights from last week's CORA Sunday Money event.
Yeah, last week's CORA Sunday Money event, I wasn't able to watch it, unfortunately, but from what I heard, it was a spectacular race, and Michael Churchma, what a job by him getting that one done.
And getting set for the restart, going to come on lap 18, 17, a 100 laps complete. Alan Provenzano back where he started the night and has basically been dominated in that Ford EcoBoost number 6 machine. Pace car is off, and here we go back to the line in Sin City. This American Ethanol green flag restart is back underway, and we're rolling again. Provenzano is gone. Damon Gilbert trying to slot down to the inside for second. He's going to try to arc the corner, and that is not going to work. The 50 of Dustin Lee charges to the inside, trying to bring the 42 of George Bark along with him. Off to 3-car battle for second.
Okay, side-by-side battle for second. The 50 of Dustin Lee trying to make that pass there on Damon Gilbert will not work. Those two teammates are trying to get done right here. George Bark looking directly on their bumper, and George Bark off the corner almost gets underneath the 50 of Lee. Will not be able to quite make the move there, so tough break for Bark.
Tough break for George Bark, but he is able to hang on to his number 42 machine and slide back into that number 4 position, and going to be challenged now by the 08 of Dan Bailey in 5th. That's basically a freight train from 3rd on back right now. Not really anybody willing to step out of line just yet, but everybody within a car length. And now, going to the bottom of the racetrack is the 42 of Bark. Battle for that 3rd position up off the exit of turn number 4.
Now George Bark looking on the bumper of that 50 of Dustin Lee. He wants to try to make a pass on him. Can the aggressive driver we know is George Bark get it done here on the low line? He will not be able to, but instead, here comes Dan S. Bailey looking inside George Bark. He'll let that run wash up high side there. Now George Bark is looking underneath Dustin Lee. Lee now trying to defend him off on the high side. Here comes George Bark. Can he get it done this time by? It's going to be close if he can clear him, and he takes a daring move, but it works off. He slides right in front of the 50. That leaves the door open for Dan S. Bailey in the 08.
Yeah, Bailey was able to take advantage when the 42 slid up. It completely killed Dustin Lee's momentum off the exit at turn number 4. It's already cost him 4th, 5th, and it cost him 6th here. In a minute to the inside goes the 35, and Nathan Sedlak can't make that stick off the exit of turn number 2, and Sedlak may lose the position through turns 3 and 4. That run on the high lane for the 20 of David Wenck. He moves up a position to P6.
A bunch of Storm Motorsports cars here with Wenck, Sedlak, and Churchma all in a row right there, battling it out for about the 6th position. Great job by all of them right now, keeping the machines facing forward. Looking in front of them, Alan Provenzano has checked out from Damon Gilbert this time. So, one thing about the CORA Sunday Money Series is every now and then you will see a driver come, such as Logan Clampett, example earlier this year, or tonight Alan Provenzano, join for one race where they know they're good at the track, and they'll just race that race. And it's a good place for the drivers to make money on iRacing if they're really good at a track. So we will see that happen a lot sometimes in the CORA Sunday Money Series, which does add a new twist whenever a very good driver such as Alan Provenzano comes out to try to spoil the show.
I mean, Petey, simply the fact that we're talking about sim racing and actually having a payout at the end of the night should make drivers come in and want to go. And oh, wow. I think that was the 20 of David Wenck that just clocked the outside wall at the exit of turn number 2. That's going to allow Sedlak on by. Jerdsma trying to make the move in the 88. Couldn't make it stick, but Wenck slapped the outside safer barrier at the exit of turn number 2. Got it pretty good from my vantage point.
Yeah, he did. He hit that safer barrier with a lot of force there. He'll wash up the racetrack now and lose another position to last week's winner, Michael Churchma. Churchma on through and by, so he loses in one more position. That will be a costly one for the 20 of David Wenck. Not something he wanted to do there, but he'll be okay. He'll try to continue to fight on, just like everyone else in this field right now. And best battle on the racetrack right now is between all 3 of those cars. Really no other battles going on whatsoever throughout the racetrack right now until you get back to about the 15 of that's Dominic Dieball. He's usually really fast. He's 1.5 milers. I'm surprised he isn't up there battling for a top 5 position right now, but he must just not tune in his car. Oh, here we go. Battle for 15th. Dylan Ackert in the 29 versus Charles Starks in the 99.
So while those two are going at it, 29 and 99, taking the battle to each other, a guy I'm keeping my eye on is somebody who slowly started to work his way up through this field. Started 17th, PD, running 9th right now, the 81 of Colton Burke, doing a nice job trying to look to the high lane of the racetrack to get around the 20 of David Wenck. We know that car is a little bit wounded, and being very patient is Colton Burke. Nice run so far by that 81 machine.
Yeah, another car to keep your eye on is the 4th member of the Storm Motorsports team. That's Ryan Borges. He was involved in that early wreck, but now he's found his way back up to the 11th position. I think he'll continue to fight on, possibly up here to maybe even close to the top 5. He's a fast driver. We'll see what he can do. Looking forward, though, Colton Burke be trying to look to the inside of the 20 of David Wenck. Nope, to the outside will go Burke.
Wow.
That was a nice power move.
Yeah, let's go on board with Colton Burke right here, because that was tight down the front straightaway. I mean, talk about this. It's basically a giant ellipse on the front straightaway. Petey, there's a big curve right there. It's almost like a fifth turn to this racetrack. And boy, the 81 of Colton Burke used every inch of it, and he's still trying to use every inch of it through the exits of these corners. From the top to the bottom to the top again, trying to look for any way around that 20. Just can't do it.
There's nowhere for him to go, so the 81 of Colton Burke, you're going to have to stay checked in behind him, and the 20 is just trying to pull away. I mean, that David Wenck is so fast. Oh, 81 to the outside wall. Hard goes Colton Burke. He's going to fall back.
And he's around. Collects a second car. Caution flag flies. Big junk on the back straightaway. And that, I saw that coming, Petey, and it kept coming, and finally it broke.
Yeah, tough break for him. He got Salicardi involved, as you guys get to see the replay right now, and Colton Burke with just a tough accident. Believe it or not, Burke actually got away with not that much damage, but the machine that got the worst end of it really was Salicardi in the 39. So that's just 2 cars involved in a wreck there. Once again, bring out the 3rd caution of the night, and we're about on lap number 30.
Still a long way to go, though. That's the problem, Petey.
Yeah, we're just on lap 30 of 100, I should say. So still quite some ways to go. We should see another set of caution flag pit stops here, and with Alan Provenzano in the lead, I expect to see him try to just come down and take another set of 4 tires. No reason for him to do anything silly with a strategy or whatnot. I think he should be good. Alan Provenzano is just really, really excellent, and there's no reason. I think if he loses spots on pit road, he can make them up.
And I know we're going to see everybody down on pit road again. Here they all come. Petey, I'm keeping an eye on that 6 Ford EcoBoost entry. He's been so good every time they've been on pit road and every time they have been on the racetrack. No mistakes so far, and that's why he's been so dominant in this race.
Really, he has. Absolutely no mistakes for Alan Provenzano, and he's just been perfect, and that's kind of an understatement. That 6 machine has brought a very good piece here to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. As he is now on pit road, they're going to put right side tires on that car. Maybe, I don't see the tires going up. They're not putting the jack up on that car. I don't know what they're doing there. He's sitting there for an awful long time, though, Jacob. Gas and go. Weird.
All right. Not sure what happened on the pit stop for the 6 of Provenzano. We'll follow up on that in a moment. Right now, step aside, take a break, and come back with more of the CORA Sunday Money Series from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. In a moment, Provenzano leads from Bark, Gilbert, Bailey, and Lee. You're watching LSRTV. Back with more after this. Welcome back to LSRTV. Alan Provenzano leading at Las Vegas Motor Speedway right now. The CORA Sunday Money Series here on LSRTV. And we're getting set for another restart in Sin City. Had a little bit of carnage so far in the early going. Couple of quick cautions with the pace cars off, and we're set for another American Ethanol green flag restart. Provenzano away to the point once again. And we continue now under the green flag with 31 of 100 laps complete, and that 6 machine rolls right back to where he has been all night long, save for a couple of laps out in front of this field. First battle on the racetracks for third between Dustin Lee and Nathan Sedlak. Sedlak to the inside. They're wheel to wheel down the back straightaway.
Wheel to wheel, door to door. Here they go, and those two men are going at it. The defending champion Nathan Sedlak on the inside of Dustin Lee, and as he gets closer and closer to that chase, both them drivers think, hey, you know what, we've been some of the best guys all year, we might be fighting for the championship, so they've already used to racing each other now. The 50 of Dustin Lee on that outside is looking to get by Sedlak, and Sedlak doesn't want any of it. Meanwhile, for the lead, Damon Gilbert has caught the tireless machine of Alan Provenzano, although here comes the 50 back right on the outside, and that's going to go to Dustin Lee. Nathan Sedlak nowhere to go, and that's going to allow Dan S. Bailey to battle him.
So we got some great action back behind the two leaders, and now I think for the first time tonight we may have a battle for the lead under green flag conditions. We do. Damon Gilbert sweeps to the inside of the racetrack and actually, I think, takes the lead at the line. Yes, he does. Gilbert to the point in that Hooters number 68 machine. Provenzano back to second, and that's the first time so far in this race, Petey, that I've seen that 6 car just flat get past. He got tied to it was like he was tied to a post.
What not taking Goodyear tires will do to you. He had to come down pit road and get tires, and he didn't. I don't understand that strategy whatsoever, but I guess he had some sort of plan. Maybe he wanted to see what he could do on new tires if he had it late in the race. So right now, the 35 of Nathan Sedlak trying to make the pass here on the 50 of Dustin Lee. Nathan Sedlak is relentless in this battle, although it will not pay off this time because the run is going to go to the 50 of Dustin Lee. Away loose goes Lee into the outside. Bailey peaks, but he will have nowhere to go, and that stacks everyone up, and the battle's going to continue on, Jacob.
Oh, buddy, that was tight. Here we come to complete lap 35. Sedlak trying to pull a slide job on him this time by off turn 4. Still can't do it. The battle rages for third spot as we work now lap 36, 65 laps still to go, not even to halfway yet. But this battle, they're racing like it's the last lap. Petey, Sedlak and Lee still the advantage to turn number 2. It's still Dustin Lee because that 35 machine just can't hold it on the bottom of the racetrack.
If Dan S. Bailey can do anything down here, the inside goes Bailey. He will slide up and will not be able to do anything, so the 35 is going to get a run, although Bailey's still at his door. Bailey's not going to get enough run off the corner to clear him. So Bailey trying Church with the apron on George Barr right behind him. 2 side-by-side battles here, and this is going to be great racing off of turn number 1 and 2. The 2 Storm Motorsports cars trying to make exciting passes done, and here we go. Nathan Sedlak up into the wall, and that's going to give the position to Bailey possibly, Jacob.
I'm telling you, there's just no quit in these guys right now. Bailey trying to make the move to the inside in that 08 machine, trying to hold it down there. This is the best battling we've seen behind the 2 leaders all night long so far, and it continues as they cross the stripe to complete 37. Bailey moves to the 4th spot and drop kicks Sedlak back to 5th.
Sedlak way out of the groove. He got up in that marbles that you do not want to be in. He loses position to everyone here. And look at that, Jacob. All 4 Storm Motorsports teammates in a row here. It's funny, Jacob, how lately in the CORA Sunday Money Series, the Storm Motorsports dominance has fell off. Early in the season, I think they won 7 out of 8 races. Ever since Don Stevenson had to retire from the series, they're probably arguably best driver. They have only won 1 out of the past 10, I think it is. So Storm Motorsports, their dominance has kind of went away lately, and it's really opened up the door for someone like Damon Gilbert and Dustin Lee to win races.
So as we continue to watch this battle from 4th, 5th on back now, and really it's gotten back to about 7th now where Sedlak has fallen to. Up front, it's still Damon Gilbert in the Hooters machine. Out in front, Provenzano, the Ford EcoBoost number 6, riding in second. Cut into that lead just a little bit last time by, but he's within about a half a tenth of a second every time they cross the stripe. He'll gain a little bit, then Gilbert will gain a little bit back. He'll gain a little bit, then Gilbert will get him back. But the guy I'm watching, Petey, is that man in 3rd, Dustin Lee, the 50 machine, who's done a nice job so far, put himself into a good position, and now he's gaining on both of these guys little by little by little over the last 5 laps or so.
Yeah, and really, I think he will continue to try to close in on these two. Really, you got to look at the Provenzano machine. As the tires continue to get more and more equal, I think he will eventually get there when the tires get equal enough for him to make moves. This time by Provenzano was faster, but Dustin Lee was significantly faster than both of them. So we'll see what happens here with these two. Not sure what will happen, but it's going to be close, I think. If this race goes green for a little while and we get green flag pit stops, I think that'll be a real test to see where these guys all stand.
It's going to be interesting to see. Right now, 41 laps going up the leaderboard, and that lead's starting to stretch just a little bit now, 2/3 of a second. And all of a sudden, another guy on the move, back in the pack, up to 9th place now. The double O, James O. Brown, on the run, picked up 7 spots from the start of this race, Petey, and actually our biggest mover inside the top 10.
He's making it happen right now. Great job to him and all these guys. Just doing a fantastic job. So looking through this field, I mean, it's just a star-stud field here tonight for CORA. The best of the best have really shown up here, and I really agree with you, though. You got to keep your eye on Dustin Lee. Dustin Lee has caught Alan Provenzano. Now it's just a matter of when will he get directly on his bumper to make a pass here. So Provenzano did a great job, and now it's just a matter of time, and he's bringing George Bark with him, too.
Yeah, those guys are coming, and I think it's going to be a battle for the runner-up spot here really quickly. Bark, that Red Bull number 42 entry on the move, trying to go to 3rd around Lee, who's trying to go to 2nd around Provenzano, who's doing a nice job of holding everybody at bay right now. 44 laps being worked right now, so quickly we are approaching the halfway point, Petey, of this race, and seems hard to believe, even despite the 2 or 3 cautions we've already had in this race, that these guys are really putting them on rails right now.
I'm looking at Alan Provenzano, and he just has to be regretted not taking the tires right now. So as we quickly approach halfway, Alan Provenzano is facing more adversity than he's faced the whole night, and what this battling is doing for the leader, Damon Gilbert, is he almost has a full second lead here. So Damon Gilbert continue to pull away. Here goes to the outside, Dustin Lee trying to get it done on Alan Provenzano, and Provenzano, there's not a whole lot he can do in this situation. And goodbye, Dustin Lee. He takes the 2nd position over, and he's trying to bring George Bark with him. George Bark through past the 6th machine, and 6 might lose another position here, Dan S. Bailey, and with Bailey on the outside, it's going to be hard for him not to. So just like that, Alan Provenzano from 2nd to 5th.
Yeah, in about a lap's time here. That's how quickly things can change at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And just as I say that, caution flag flying on the racetrack, Petey. Not sure where the incidents come from. We are back under yellow. I believe it's the 48, Mark McFadden.
Mark McFadden on the 48 with heavy motor smoke. So we will see what happens, and tough break for him. He was racing down into turn number 3, as you guys see on the replay. And odd incident, it looks like he was pulling off to go to the pits, but he was still at full speed on the apron, Jacob. And he just came back up into the racetrack, hit the outside wall, and really was doing okay, turned back into traffic, and got absolutely torn up by the 79 of Joel Wood. Odd incident there with Mark McFadden in the 48.
But what it does is it puts us back under caution for the 3rd time in this 150-mile event, and basically will take us right up to the halfway point of this race. So what we will do, Petey, or what that will do right here, is get us set for green flag stops, caution flag stops, and I don't know that it will get you all the way to the end of this race, but it ought to be close.
I think it might. I'm not 100% sure, but I do believe it can, considering what I know about strategy at tracks similar to this. So we'll see. It should be close fairly. I mean, I think if it goes green to the end, everyone should be good, but I guess we will see. So everyone come down pit road. Time to see if there's any odd strategies this time, Jacob. So Damon Gilbert going to be the first car down, and guess just time to see who does what. Yeah,
Gilbert leading the parade down pit road, and that 68 machine going to be the first one that will come to a stop in his pit stall right here, almost to the end of pit road. Gilbert slides it to a halt and hits his marks perfectly. So jack stands going up on the right side of the Hooters machine, already down, going over to the left side. So it's going to be 4 tires and full service for just about everybody on the top end of pit road. Gilbert pretty easily going to win the race off of pit road, and I don't see a whole lot of changes in that top 5. I believe Lee, Bark, Bailey, Provenzano. The front five come off exactly like they left, or exactly like they entered pit road.
Yeah, not a whole lot changed, like you said. Actually, I do think that George Bark beat Dustin Lee, but that's about it. So top five, same as they entered. Ryan Borges picked up a position on Michael Churchma, so interesting change there down on pit road, and good strategy with everyone there. So everyone got some good pit stops, and really not a whole lot of change, like you said. One thing that I'll be watching this restart, though, is you got to look at Alan Provenzano. He was so dominant on fresh tires before. I was really curious to see what he does on this restart, if he can make it all up.
That's what we're going to be keeping an eye on, isn't it? The 6 machine trying to make some moves, and you know, he's going to have an advantage on this restart, Petey. He's going to be restarting from the inside lane. That's going to be huge, especially here at Las Vegas. The outside line's the place to be once you get the car wound up, but when you're just starting off on fresh tires, you want to be on the inside, make it the shortest possible lane around this 1.5-mile T-shaped oval here in Vegas, where boy, if you're going to see calamity, we usually see it on these restarts. We've already seen it on one restart tonight.
And there's no reason it can't happen again. This restart's probably going to come, I think, exactly at halfway, Jacob, so that's going to add a whole another twist to things here. So, I mean, this race kind of split in two halves now for everyone, and Sal Accardi might seem in front of the pace car. He is 16 laps down, just got there to get the wave around. So, really, this race has taken an unexpected turn here. I really wasn't expecting a caution to come out here this late into the green flag run, I should say. Everyone was really starting to single file out, and then the caution came out when Mark McFadden had his odd issue.
So looking at this, the lights are still on, so we should get the restart right at halfway. And Petey, what that'll allow us to do is actually get our midway race break out of the way here just prior to the official halfway point of this race, since the standings will be official when they come back to green. Damon Gilbert, the 68, leads this party. George Bark going to line up P2 for the restart. Dustin Lee to third. Dan Bailey slots in fourth, and Alan Provenzano the top five. The rest of the top half of the field, how about the run by Ryan Borges up to 6th place now? Michael Jerdma 7th, Nathan Sedlak in 8th, Brandon Monsivice 9th, and James Brown in the 00 rounding out the top 10, Petey.
7th is Dylan Ackert, 12th to David Wenk in the 20. He's fallen back in a little ways. 13th to Charles Starks in the 99. 14th to Dominic Diabol. 15th to Mark McFadden. 16th to Weston Campbell. 17th to Joel Wood in the 79. 18th to Sal Accardi in the 39. 19th to the 81 of Colton Berkey, and rounding out your field is that disqualified entry of the 62 of William Hall, as we have just one to green here.
One lap to green, and to make a note, Hale, Burke, Accardi, the 3 cars out of this race, so 17 of 20 cars still running, 14 on the lead lap, and just wrapping up our 4th caution flag of this event, all prior to lap 50. So we're going to have 50 laps down and 50 laps to go. Petey, what are you looking for in the second half of this race?
I'm looking to see what Alan Provenzano can do. Now that he has fresh tires and has equal playing ground, I want to see if he still has the elite form he showed in the first 30 laps.
All right, so he'll come from 5th, and the front row going to be Gilbert and Bark right now as we get set to rock and roll. We'll get through turns 3 and 4 right now, and that iRacing Ford First Mustang pace car getting ready to peel off the banking back to the pit lane. We'll get set to kick off the second half of this CORA Sunday Money event. Pace car's gone. This American Ethanol green flag restart is in the air, and Damon Gilbert takes off as we're back underway. Not a good restart for the 42 of George Bark, the 50 of Lee, the 6 of Provenzano. They're trying to stuff it to the inside in turn 1, and they will.
So Provenzano now following Dustin Lee through the hole to the outside, should have the advantage here. We'll see what they can get for a run. George Bark on the outside trying to battle it out here. Here comes George Bark in the 42. Can he get it done on Dustin Lee? We see all these cars scattering right now, side by side, 3 rows deep. And George Bark on the outside looks as though he's going to clear the 50 of Dustin Lee. Now though, Dan S. Bailey to the outside line, trying to take that position away from Lee, which he will. First battle now is between Provenzano and Borges. That's for 5th.
How many times do we say, Petey, the best way to pass somebody is to get them on a restart, because everybody's bunched up and the field's at their closest, and that's exactly what we're seeing so far tonight. And unfortunately, I thought that inside line was going to be a whole lot better for that 6 car than what it's turned out to be. He looks like he's struggling.
I think it might be more of an issue with his car now. He does not look as fast as he was early in this race when he was pulling him from the field by 2 seconds. He needs to get some work done to that thing if he wants to be able to pull away from the field like he once was. And Provenzano now in front of Nathan Sedlak is trying to make a move here on Ryan Borges. Borges, though, looking stout right now, and that 32 machine knows how to get done. We all know he knows how to get done here. He's won a race this season, although it was in the super late model, but we'll see what he can do. Here comes the 6 to the inside, and the 6 of Bailey. Alan Provenzano trying to make a pass here on Ryan Borges. This is for 5th, trying to take it back.
Yeah, and meanwhile, up front, the 68 of Damon Gilbert, I think, tagged the wall just a little bit with the right rear quarter of that Hooters machine coming off the exit of turn number 4. So hang on tight and let's see what we can do, or let's see what the leader can do this time around. Much cleaner through turns 1 and 2. He takes a little bit more conservative line. What that's done has allowed the Red Bull entry of George Bark to pull right up to the rear deck lid of the 68, who gets really loose off turn 4. Battle for the lead at the start-finish line.
Wasn't much of a battle. George Bark just took it for his own there. Now Dan F. Bailey getting around the 68 of Damon Gilbert. Bad mistake there on his part. And that's going to give the lead now to George Bark of the 42. George Bark hasn't seen victory lane since the season opener at Daytona. Can he return tonight? He's looking stout. We'll see.
We will see. Right now, 55 laps complete. Bark trying to pull away and doing a nice job of it. Dan Bailey's taken over the number 2 spot, so we've seen Gilbert now fall back to 3rd, and I think that car is struggling a little bit more than it was at the drop of this restart for the second half, Petey. Really puzzled. It was so good on the launch, and now it's gotten so bad so quickly.
Really have, so he's falling back, and now Dustin Lee, who is outside that 68. Maybe he has a tire malfunction going on, and believe it or not, them do happen in iRacing, so be it, they're very rare, but I don't know, he just does not look good whatsoever right now. Now Provenzano's on his bumper, and Provenzano looking to do the same thing that everyone else has done to him, so the 6 machine, seeing what he can do with the 68 here. The 68 is just looking like he's having problems, and this is the second guy that we saw dominate a portion of the race that is now struggling. First we saw Provenzano, now we saw Gilbert, and could this just all play into a guy like George Bark's hands? I guess we're going to find out.
We will find out right now. 57 laps complete, and while we're watching this, Provenzano back on the move. He's up to 5th and trying to climb forward a little bit more. He'll battle with Gilbert for 4th, and we will take care of a little bit of business, come back for more. From Las Vegas Motor Speedway, this is the CORA Sunday Money Series on LSRTV. George Bark, your leader. Welcome back to LSRTV from Sin City, Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and the CORA Sunday Money Series starting to wind into the closing stages of tonight's 150-mile event. Jacob Seelman in the broadcast booth, and the battles are raging, and things are starting to get a little bit fun closer to the front of the field. Alan Provenzano in the Ford EcoBoost number 6 machine has moved back up to the number 3 position. He dominated the opening stages of this race, and has since had a problem on a pit stop, lost out on on older tires to some of the leaders, and now trying to work his way forward in the closing laps, about a second off the leader right now. The Red Bull mount of George Bark, who's having a great fight with it with Dan Bailey. Those are your top 2, Damon Gilbert, Dustin Lee, Ryan Borges, Nathan Sedlak, Michael Zierdzma, and James Brown in 9th. David Wenk rounds out the top 10 as we've got 14 cars on the lead lap, and now just a third of this race to go. 33 laps remaining when we get back to the start-finish line. So as we watch the leaders go through turns 3 and 4, the battle still remains the 42 versus the 08. George Barkman really putting on a heck of a show so far tonight. Solid drive by that 42 car late in this race to hold about 2 car length advantage, but I'm telling you, that's getting whittled away rather quickly. Provenzano down to 0.8 of a second, trying to make the charge with 68 laps complete. Soon it may just be a 5-car battle for the top spot. Even Damon Gilbert, who fell back pretty quickly, all the way to 5th at one point after leading this race on the last restart, trying to move back forward a little bit, hooked to the back bumper of that 6 car, and those are the 2 guys on the march one more time. 0.9 of a second out of the lead with 31 laps to go. That's your top 5 working through turns 1 and 2 right now, and 4 cautions so far, but we've had none in the last 20 laps. This is shaping up to be the longest green flag stretch of the night, so getting cleaner right now as we move in on the finish. Bark, though, still trying to hold the lead. Bailey looking for any way by him in that 08 machine, but not finding it, and Bark starting to pull out a little bit more and a little bit more with every passing lap. 30 to go when they come back to the start-finish line. Less than 50 miles remaining here from Sin City now as they head down the back straightaway one more time. Bailey quickly could be slipping into the clutches of Alan Provenzano, that 6 machine. That 08 starting to fall off, and Provenzano trying to come to life a little bit, just chopped a 10th off the gap from 3rd to the lead right now. 0.8 of a second, about 10 car lengths between the leader, George Bark, and the Ford EcoBoost mount of Alan Provenzano, who dominated, as we mentioned, the early part of this race. 1 car nearly around back straightaway, trying to see if they hold on to it. I saw somebody take a mean lurch back in the pack and thought it was going to be ugly for a minute. May have been the 15 of Dominic Dyball. I was trying to get eyes on it. I saw somebody take a big lurch on the back straightaway last time around, and trying to search back through the camera footage right here and see if we can't see exactly what went on. But still, meanwhile, watching the battle for the race lead, which is really starting to heat up. Provenzano trying to chop it in a little bit more, and he is going to get very quickly to that 08 of Dan Bailey. It's less than a car length now between the 08 and the 6 machine. So as we continue to watch this battle for the lead, it's getting good here in Vegas. And of course, we see differing tire strategies so often here in Sin City, and it's all a matter of whose strategy is the one that pays off. And finally got a car number on the incident that I saw a couple laps ago, lap 71. It was actually Michael Zierdzma in the 88 machine who took a mean turn for the inside safer barrier just off the exit of turn 2. That car got nasty loose. He hung onto it. He's back there in the 9th position right now. So we'll keep an eye on that 88. But as we finally ascertained that. Alan Provenzano back to the number 2 position now. About 9/10 of a second out of the lead, 8/10 now as they cross the stripe. 25 laps to go, this time by Provenzano, trying to make the move towards the lead as we continue to close in on the finish of this race. How long can Bark hold on? We're going to find out in a moment. And now let's go back and take a look at this replay of Michael Schertzma's incident off turn number 2. That car shot so drastically towards the inside. He had to do a masterful job to correct it and hang on to it. Hung on to it, did not lose a spot in the top 10, and now that 88 machine solidly in the 9th position, battling for it right now with the 00 of James O'Brown. That's the battle for 9th, and one of the best battles on the racetrack right now, while these guys still trying to close in for the lead, and they are doing so rather quickly. Little bit of lap traffic now to work with, too. Some slower traffic here on the racetrack. Provenzano works to the inside. It's now 2/3 of a second as the 6 and the 68 coming back to life. 77 down, 23 to go. We're going to go side by side, come back, bring you to the finish here on LSRTV. You're watching the CORA Sunday Money Series. George Bark, your leader, trying to hang on with 23 to go. Welcome back to LSRTV. Coming down to it, 16 laps to go when they come back to the stripe for the CORA Sunday Money Series from Sin City, Las Vegas Motor Speedway. I'm Jacob Seelman in the broadcast booth here tonight, and Alan Provenzano making a last-ditch charge just like he was hoping to be able to pull off. Got shuffled back through the middle stages of this race, but come go time and come money time, he's exactly where he wants to be, stalking the lead with about 24 miles to go in tonight's event at Las Vegas. He's got a hard-charging Damon Gilbert fighting, trying to make some moves as well. These two cars look pretty evenly matched, but it's George Bark in the Red Bull now who leads the party, coming now to 15 laps to go. Provenzano's been quicker the last 5 or 6 laps, taking a look to the inside as they go down into turn number 1. Provenzano wants the lead, can't do it. He's got to fall back into line, and this 3-car freight train is leading the charge for everybody. It's 1.8 seconds back to Dan Bailey in the 08 and Dustin Lee in the 50, who ride 4th and 5th right now. So it's going to be basically these 3 cars fighting it out for the win. Provenzano trying to look everywhere he can to make something happen. Just can't quite get there right now. And now Bailey looking to the inside for second. He'll fall back into line, so these top 3 still run in lockstep right now and continue to gap everybody from 4th on back little by little by little. We've still got 14 cars on the lead lap and 6 cars who basically now are either severely damaged or have retired from this 100-lap, 150-mile event. Provenzano almost gets a little squirrely. He got those left sides right down onto the white line as they came through turns 3 and 4 last time by. 12 laps to go when they come to the line next time. They're working lap number 88 right now, and Provenzano digging to the inside off turn 2. Battle for the lead down the back straightaway. Provenzano takes the look. Can he get all the way up alongside? Yes, he can. The 6 of Provenzano going for the top spot. He'll take it away from George Bark and try to bring the 68 of Gilbert with him, who got loose off turn 4. He'll fall back to 3rd and fall out of contention for at least a few moments. 3 car lengths back at the 2-man race for the lead in 1. Provenzano now, he's going to try to check out over these final 10 or 11 laps. The question's going to be, will Bark allow him to do so? Bark trying to take a peek back to the inside now in that 42. Provenzano slams the door shut, gets those tires right down to the white line once again, and works up off the corner. 11 laps to go this time by, as it's still a 3-horse race for the win. And as I continue to watch this battle for the lead, Bark a little bit better at the entry to turn number 1. But Provenzano so good from the center of the corner off. That's where he's making so much time in that 6-car. Going on board right now, and going to watch at this battle as we continue to see it play out. You watch from George Bark as he's trying everything he can. He's within a car length, just trying to get there. Oh, he just surges up every time all the way through the center of turn number 1, and then loses it off the exit, and Provenzano can roll that momentum all the way to the back straightaway, and Provenzano got in the wall off turn number 2. Bark back to the lead now, Gilbert to 2nd, Provenzano falls to 3rd with 9 laps to go. Now Provenzano coming back to the outside, trying to make the move. How quickly things change, and George Bark says, thank you very much, I'll try and take this all the way to victory lane. So now he's got a gap of about 3 or 4 car lengths between himself and Damon Gilbert, who took 2nd in that exchange. And he just got it with that right rear quarter panel. Provenzano did off the exit of turn number 2, right about where the safer barrier actually ends there on the start of the back straightaway. But it was just enough to kill his momentum and allow the 2 guys he was chasing to make the move. And now with just 7 laps to go, you have to wonder, does that 6 car have a little bit of damage And will he be able to work his way back to the point and win this race? 7 laps to go. This time by, it's still Bark out in front in the Red Bull mount, Gilbert in the Hooters mount in second, and Provenzano, the Ford EcoBoost mount, rides third. They've got 2 seconds on Dan Bailey in fourth. And this party is not done just yet. Six laps to go when they come back to the stripe, and Provenzano he can't get any closer, but he can't get any further away either. He's just kind of holding station right now. If he gives up any ground, he's not going to be able to challenge for this win, but he gave up about a 10th last time by as Gilbert closed in on Bark just a little bit. I don't know that the handle is there now after that 6 scrubbed the wall to be able to do anything here, and the problem is he's only got 5 laps to figure out if he can make one last charge at it. Gilbert closing for the lead in 3. Gilbert wants the lead off turn number 4. They're wheel to wheel for the top spot. Damon Gilbert all the way almost down to the apron. He's got right there to the wheel well. Now they're door to door in turn number 1, side by side for the lead. Gilbert to the inside, Bark to the outside. Provenzano there in third, trying to go to the outside off turn number 2, and he will do that. Use a lot of momentum on that high lane of the racetrack. So Provenzano into turn number 3, trying to get the run off turn number 4. Oh, he gets a little bit loose. The 68 of Gilbert does, and that's going to allow Provenzano on by. So now Provenzano back to second. 3.5 laps to go down the back straightaway. Oh, they're both in the wall. Gilbert's in the wall. Provenzano's in the wall. And they're both now scrambling for second. I think Gilbert may be able to get it on the inside, but that's going to be wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, for George Bark, who's going to be able to run away. Coming to complete lap 97. 3 laps to go, and the gap is now almost a full second. It's 0.8 between Bark and Gilbert, and that was all the Red Bull machine needed as we still watch this battle for second. Unbelievable. The 68 and the 6, they were battling for P2 up off the exit of turn number 2 and just pushed it a little bit too far, and that's all it takes. They both got to the wall. Gilbert got into it when Provenzano checked up and he had nowhere to go. And it's basically cost him a shot at the win. 2 laps to go, double popsicle sticks. Gilbert was a 10.5 quicker last time by, but he's got too much ground to make up and not enough time to do it in. I think George Bark may just about have this as they work down the back straightaway one more time. Into turns 3 and 4 this time. White flag going in the air for George Bark. Final lap for the Red Bull machine as he flashes under the white silk. The battle's going to be for second behind him, trying to close in and just can't do it. So for George Bark, he definitely wasn't the fastest car this evening, but he was the car that was in the right place at the right time and was able to take advantage of the guys fighting behind him who were faster to be able to be out in front, and it's going to be a roll of the dice that sends him all the way to the payout table and all the way to victory lane tonight in Las Vegas. Off turn 4, George Bark will win at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. The battle for second going to go to Damon Gilbert. Alan Provenzano falls back at the exit of turn number 4, and the 6 will come home in third. Dan Bailey fourth. Justin Lee rounding out the top 5. Then it's Ryan Borges, Nathan Sedlak, David Wenk, James Brown, Michael Jerdma, the rest of the top 10. 12 cars ultimately finishing on the lead lap, and a nice run by that 42 as Gilbert comes to give him the hand out the window, say congratulations as Bark gets ready to head to the front straightaway to celebrate. Let's have ourselves a little 3-car burnout here at the start-finish line. Big win for George Bark, and everybody gonna start celebrating. We'll be back with more the post-race show up next here. The CORA Sunday Money Series on LSRTV. Stay with us. Welcome back to LSRTV post-race action beginning for the CORA Sunday Money Series tonight from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Jacob Seelman down on the pit lane now. We'll start with our third place man, Alan Provenzano. Alan looked like he had the fastest car all night long. Unfortunately, just got into the wall a couple times there towards the end of that race. It was a tough break for you. I know you wanted this win. What was the difference there at the end?
It just got really tight with like 10 to go, and I just couldn't turn it anymore. It didn't help that it didn't take tires in one of the pit stops.
What do you know exactly what happened on that pit stop? It looked like a glitch or something happened on our end, but was that a planned no tire stop, or did something happen on your end that you noticed that caused you to basically be behind the 8-ball there?
Oh, it took a windshield tear off, but it never jacked the car up to take tires, and it was supposed to take them, just never did.
I know it's a tough
caution.
You got lucky, and it got you all the way back to third, Alan. Was there anything you could have done differently there in the final laps to try and make a run at it?
I don't think so. George was fast.
I know you obviously can't do any of this by yourself. I want to give you a chance to shout out and say thank you. Who makes it happen?
True Speed. Wouldn't be able to do it without them.
Well, Alan, third place for you. I know it's not what you were hoping for, but still a solid podium result. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's Alan Provenzano coming up third tonight, moving along the pit lane. Going to pick up our second placement. And now Damon Gilbert. Damon, who tried to make one last run at it, almost got there coming to 2 to go. And then when the 6 got in the wall ahead of you, looked like you had nowhere to go, and it kicked you into the wall as well. What happened there on those last couple laps?
I was running him down. Like, I came back, I was pretty hot, so I was trying to keep it cool and stuff. We ran him down, and it's so hard to pass, especially on old tires like we were, like 40 laps or whatever it was. And it just got tight on me, and I was all loose all running, so I didn't know what to do. Like, I was just handling the car as much as I could, and then I just creamed the wall when I followed Alan up into it.
You ended up getting a piece of the wall. Still hold on for second, though. I know it's a solid result for you. No, you can't do it by yourself. Anybody you want to thank who makes it happen?
I'd like to thank George Bark, and congratulations to him also. And all my friends like Dustin Lee, Dan, Alan, all them guys.
Solid result. Come up runner-up tonight, Damon. I know you wanted that last. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Damon Gilbert, and now we'll head over to Gatorade Victory Lane tonight here in Sin City. I know it's going to be a pretty hefty celebration. Solid run, and climbs out of the car. The Red Bull mount here in Victory Lane, George Bark. Solid run for you, and you were basically able to take advantage and drive away when the two guys behind you got to racing and ended up in the wall. Don't know that you had the fastest car at the end of that race, but you had the car that was in front when it mattered.
Yeah, it was a good run, Jacob. The car was mostly solid throughout the whole race here tonight.
Did you get nervous at all there in those final laps, George, when Damon and Alan, you knew they were a little bit quicker and they were coming up on you? Did it get a little unsettling having to kind of half drive out the rearview mirror?
No, not really. We're all teammates. We were just kind of having fun with it, deciding that we'll probably start racing right around 15 to go, 10 to go there. Just to have fun, see who had something left. But, you know, just easy going race. Actually, the most relaxed race I've had all year long.
It was relaxed. It looked fun, and you get the win. I know you can't do it by yourself. Sure, there's people to thank. Who makes it happen, George?
Right now, True Speed Motorsports. Everybody over there, Michael Van Ostol, Mark Moffitt, Alan, Damon, Brewster, Caleb. There's so many to name. If I forgot anybody, I'm sorry, guys. But they've really helped me out here lately. We all teamed up, and we're trying to do something strong with the official side and here at CORA too. But trying to finish out a strong season here. But I'd like to thank them. They made it happen for me.
They made it happen and got you to victory lane, George. Congratulations. You head to the payout table and take the win tonight.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
That's George Bark, our race winner tonight. Real quickly, a full field rundown. Bark, Gilbert, Provenzano. They're your podium. You just heard from them. Dan Bailey, Dustin Lee, the top five. Then it's Ryan Borges, Nathan Sedlak, David Wank, James Brown, Michael Sherdva, Dylan Ackert, 11th. 12th to Brandon Monsivice, last car on the lead lap. Dominic Dyball, one lap down in 13th. 14th, Charles Starks. 15th, Salacardi out of the race. Weston Campbell, Mark McFadden, Joel Wood, Colton Burke, William Hale, all behind the wall. That's your 20-car field tonight from Las Vegas. But one more time, congratulations out to the Red Bull number 42 team. George Bark goes to victory lane tonight. And for the whole LSRTV crew here in Sin City and Laura Lawson behind the glass, for all of us, I'm Jacob Seelman, reminding all you sim racing fans out there, keep it off the wall until we meet again. And LSRTV going to be back online tomorrow night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern for the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series action from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Until then, have a safe racing weekend, and we just might see you on the service. Good night.